Hey, what's up, everyone? It is Pink Crush 808, and this is Tea Time with Pink Crush 808. I'm still working on it, alright? I'm still getting used to this, okay? So the tea for today, oh my gosh, okay? So the actual tea for today is green tea and elderberry, okay? For those of you who don't know, I actually have a tea shop, and it's an online tea shop, and I sell a lot of herbal teas and teas that are good for your health. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. There's also tea sets that you can purchase as well. You know, the tea sets are a bit pricey, but it's because it's a high quality, and of course it's made here in America. So everything, majority of, well, when it comes to the teas, you know, teas is an experience. So sometimes it's an international experience, and some of the teas on my e-commerce is from around the world, but they are all beneficial for your health somehow, you know. And that's how I chose them, you know, myself. It's not no one created it for me. Those teas that I chose for you guys are actually from me, and I chose teas that are beneficial for your health. Okay, but anyway, done with that tea, let's get to the tea time, the real tea. So this whole flood, you know, the thing that, now, never in the history of Oahu in Hawaii have we ever had a flood that bad. Okay, never, not that I can recall. Okay, because that was like tsunami level. You know what I'm saying? That was like tsunami emergency disaster, you know, level. And like people's houses were being swept away, their cars were under the water. Like, it has never gotten that bad in the history of Hawaii ever. Like it really, there's certain areas of the island that were hit really bad. Now, like I said, I thought, okay, so while I was growing up, Central was where I live before, okay, and I guess they did some rezoning. I think it was in the early 2000s. They did some rezoning, and so now Central is Wahiawa, Mililani, Wailoa, and North Shore side. That's Central. Which kind of, no, not North Shore. North Shore is not Central, but Wailua, Wahiawa, Mililani area, that's considered Central now. So I don't live in the Central area. Matter of fact, you know, it's not raining right now, but they got hit really bad, like that whole section. Now, I grew up here, born and raised here on this island, and I've never seen anything like that. Even when we got hit by a hurricane, you know, I never seen anything like that. I know at one point maybe Nanakuli got really bad during Hurricane Iniki, kind of similar to that, but I've never seen that type of flooding in my life, and I was born and raised on this island, you know. So when I seen it, I went, "Whoa, holy shit!" Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm okay, just to let you guys know. I'm not in the Central area. I'm farther away from there. I'm not in downtown either, not in Waikiki. For my own privacy, I'm just not going to disclose where I am, but I'm not in any of those areas that were flooded. I'm okay. Thank you so much for checking up on me. But yeah, I'm okay. Like, I am not in those areas. So I've never ever seen that happen in the history of Hawaii. Like, it's never ever flooded that badly. And seeing people in chest deep water and then above, and seeing people's cars. I mean, now, chest deep, the car is like about what, 6 feet. Their cars were underwater, you know. Their cars were underwater. Yeah, it's unheard of. But you know what is even more unheard of? you know, not what is unheard of, but what is kind of wild to me, okay? This is a wild part for me. It's a fact that 3001 people want to create like GoFundMe's and donation. All of a sudden everybody's asking for fucking donations. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, people, friends and family, if you truly want to help them, okay, if you truly want to help those who have been affected by the flood, give them information. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of those GoFundMe's and freaking donations and shit like that, where the fucking hell does it go? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking at like resources for those who have been affected by COVID-19, not COVID-19, by these floods, because I was going to announce it on here. And when I did my research, when I pulled it up on Google, there was 3,001 people asking for donations for the floods. And I only found 3 organizations that were immediately giving out resources. There were two organizations that was asking for donations, and they said that they were going to give a relief. But when I looked on their website, there was nothing about it. It was just all donations. And they had things that was irrelevant to the flood. So I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, you're asking for fucking donations, but you don't have like a program to, you know, you don't have some kind of emergency relief for the flood, for those who are affected by the flood. It's just asking for money for those who are affected by the flood. And then, you know, I think about that and I'm like, how they need the money, and they need the money, and they need the help now. Like, they need it now. They need the money, they need the help now. Some of them, they don't have a place to stay. How long are you going to make them all stay at a fucking gym? Do you know how dangerous it would be if you keep people in that fucking gym and there's no security and shit like that? Because where the fuck are they going to take a shower? Yeah. Like, when you set up emergency, like, like, that's, the gyms have showers, yes, but they're open fucking bays. And that's not safe when you have a huge fucking community in a fucking gym. You know, you need security. There's fucking perverts and freaking sex predators around. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, this is to think that if there's an emergency situation and you can just clusterfuck everyone in one fucking building and it's gonna be okay, not thinking about the aftermath of that fucking emergency, then you're out of your mind. Okay? Because if there is a natural disaster, and you know what, Hawaii hasn't had one for a long time. This year and the year prior, the year prior to that, in the 2023, I think, was what the Lanai fires. Those are the first 2 major disasters that we've ever had in Hawaii in a long time, since the 1990s. You know, and the reality of it is, there isn't a really good plan. I mean, like I said, I was in the emergency management. I was with the emergency management team in the district that I originally grew up in, not the one that I'm in right now, because, you know, I'm taking a break. There's a lot of shit that's going on, but when I was part of that emergency management team, like, I thought of all this shit. You know, like, we all had to bring shit to the table. I'm not saying I thought of all this shit, because ain't nobody's gonna be the one power source or one knowledge source. It's just, you know, there's a lot of things that people don't think about, because, you know, life is easy for them. Life is chill, and most of them think, you know, when people are planning, they're planning towards what they've experienced. They're planning towards their experiences. So if you have a bunch of people that really, you know, they've never been through a natural disaster, or they've never seen a natural disaster, they've never seen the aftermath of a natural disaster, or they've never, you know, stayed out in the fucking field of a disaster. they ain't gonna know shit. You know what I'm saying? But I've lived through a hurricane, bless you. I've lived through a hurricane. I've seen the aftermath. However, the community back then and the community today are two different communities. You know, you have a lot more dangers today than they had back then, and that back then is not too far back then. Okay, there's a lot of transitioning here. So how they would implement, these people don't need they need donations, but they don't need more organizations asking for donations. They need a release of funds, which there is a release of funds. The thing that you guys don't fail to understand, or probably don't know, because I mean, you shouldn't know. I mean, you should know. This is all public information that I do announce, okay? You should know that when there is a state of emergency, there are a bunch of funds that are distributed to that state by the federal government, okay? And so when you have that funds, what happens? How do you use those funds? There's different types of funds that are appropriated, and you know, each allotted funds can be used for different things. And right now, I just don't understand why there are thousands of NPOs asking for donations, and even people on their own accord, they'll go out and ask for donations for these people that need the help now. They need it now. They don't need it next week. They don't need it in a week from now. They need it now. And there was only 3 organizations that I've seen providing support now. And it was the 1, food bank, 2, Red Cross, 3, the Salvation Army. Those are the only 3 entities that I found that was giving and providing providing help now. Financial, food, shelter, clothing. Those are the only ones that are providing for them now. Like right now, they can just call them and they'll get that. And they're actually bringing the food down to, you know, these emergency sites, the shelter sites. They're checking on the families. They're actually, and everyone else is asking for donations. To be honest with you, donations are great, but they need it now. Where's the funding? Where's the funding that they can receive now? It's there. It's there, okay? It is fucking there. So, on another site, they stated that they're giving those who need shelter, the families, they're giving them a discount at certain hotels in Waikiki. And I'm like, what? These people just lost their fucking house and you're gonna make them pay? Like when we had COVID-19, they did not pay to stay at the hotels. We had a pot of money to provide them their stays at the hotels. They didn't pay for any of that. So now that this is another emergency, why do they have to pay out of pocket to stay at a hotel? You know how much it costs to stay at a hotel in Hawaii? And you're gonna give them what, a $99 discount? Depending on where they go to. If you go to freaking Aulani, that shit can run you almost $800 a night. I think the cheapest is what, $500? You go to Waikiki, I mean, I don't know exactly all the rates there because I never did, for my travel agency, I never looked into any of the hotels at Waikiki. Because the reason why is because 1, I live here. 2, I mean, there's not much people here that I knew wanted to vacation here. They wanted to go to Japan, or they wanted to go to freaking somewhere else internationally, or they wanted to go to the continental states, you know. So I would look for places there for them. And the only one that I actually went to because I was invited to go there was to Aulani, and the Aulani prices are pretty high. So as far as Waikiki, I'm assuming that it'll range around what. There was one that I went to, and it was to rate them, and it was not great. It was like what, $100 or $200 a night, and that was like, oh, I didn't even stay. I looked at the room, I walked out, and I went home. So, you know, if it's on the lower end of the spectrum, beware. But There's there's other places there that maybe the Sheraton or something like that. That would probably be my recommendation. Okay, Sheraton, and not sure about the Hilton. Hilton, yeah, probably the Hilton, but you know, Sheraton for sure. Sheraton Waikiki, yeah, for sure. But I don't think that these families gonna be able to afford that. Like, who's to say how long they're gonna end up in the hotel? They could be there for like a month, you know? And you add all of that up, how in the freaking hell are they going to afford that and then afford renovations for their homes? You know, of course, hopefully they got house insurance on them, okay? Hopefully they got house insurance. I'm pretty sure they should have house insurance. But, you know, some locations, like if you're close to the ocean, then you're not going to get house insurance. They're going to be like, no. Depending on where you are and that coastline, you know. So, I just don't see how HTA, with all their funding, wouldn't be able to provide some source of relief for these families by picking up the rest of that bill. Because obviously the hotels themselves are giving them discounts. So the hotels are giving them discounts. But what about the HTA? What? I mean, if you guys can afford to give your asses big ass bonuses at the ending of the year, then why can you not use some of that money to help your own community out? You know? Where's the emergency funds? Where's the state emergency funds? Why can't you guys use that emergency funds, not just to help, you know, alleviate some of that funds are probably going to go to the shelters or to, you know, the equipment and the infrastructure and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure you have enough funds to cover at least a fucking week for these families. You know? And I hope you guys got security at those shelters, because they definitely gonna need that. If you got a huge community, because a lot of people were affected, you know, there's the aftermath of a freaking emergency is the actual, you know, that's where a lot of the problems are gonna come from. You know, it's the aftermath. It's of course the damage, evacuation, that's one, but it's the aftermath that you gotta fucking think about. You don't want to keep them in a gym. Definitely want to take them down to Waikiki. Like, you guys all know that tourism is not the greatest right now. So, if you take that money, the HTA funds, or if you take that money, the emergency relief funds, and you funnel that money into the hotel rooms, then you're actually feeding back into the economy. You know, you guys so freaking greedy. You guys like when bonus at the ending of you guys are harboring all of that. You guys are harboring all the funding that you're getting from the federal government when you guys, and I don't know what your guys' issues are. Maybe you guys don't like them guys stay there, because why do you get to stay there and I don't? You know, you guys got to set that aside sometimes. That stupid ass mentality of why can you have that and I cannot. Just give them the fucking funding. Get them housed and set up in freaking Waikiki. Maybe that's the breath of fresh air they actually need. You know what I'm saying? And then, while you're paying for that, because why not? If you're getting funding for emergency fund, fucking fund them. Help them. Use the funding for what it's supposed to be for. You're also feeding back into the economy of Hawaii. So, I mean, it's not like you're spending all that money on the hotels for nothing. You're feeding back into the economy. These families are going to go there. Waikiki is struggling right now. Those families are going to go there. They're going to buy stuff in Waikiki. It'll bring that place up just a little. You know what I'm saying? Shit, can't you guys use your damn brains instead of stop feeling from your heart and being so damn covetous? Why can't you have that and I cannot? Shit. Just use your damn brains. You're going to be feeding back into the economy with the money that you're going to use for the emergency funds to pour back into Waikiki and to help people out. So you're like hitting two fucking birds with one stone. Damn. I just don't understand. I don't understand. You're going to give them a discount that they can't afford. That's the stupidest shit that I've ever heard. It's like telling somebody, hey, Actually, somebody told me this morning. It's like telling somebody after they spend their money, oh, I can help you, or oh, look, there's a better discount here after the fucking fact. You know, that's freaking stupid. You know they can't afford that shit. You're gonna give them a discount? The worst possible thing happened in their life, and you're gonna give them a $99 discount for a freaking hotel? I get the hotel giving a discount, but the audacity of actually announcing that to people who just lost their home, who lost a lot of things, their comfort. They lost their home, they lost their comfort, they lost their security. You whole fucking bunch of people inside one freaking gym, and you know how much trouble that could possibly generate. Especially if you got two rivals in that fucking gym. You know, it's the mentality sometimes gotta change, you know, because the way you guys are thinking are just, to me, it just makes no damn sense. You know, it just makes no damn sense. You're gonna give them a discount, great. Where are they gonna get the rest of the money? So 200 times 7. Where the fucking hell are they gonna get the rest of that money? I don't understand. It makes no sense. Okay, great. Oh, look at us. We're doing our part. We give you the discount, $99. But, you know, you lost your home. You lost your comfort. You lost maybe one of your family members are in the hospital right now. But you have $200 that you have to pay. What? And everybody wants donations. And nobody knows where those donations are going to go to. You know, a lot of the people, did you know that the Lahaina fires, you know, a lot of the people who were asking for donations, do you know that they pocketed that shit? Did you know that they gave them a little bit of money and then they pocketed the rest? That's why when people ask for donations, if I don't know, if you're not Kol Chabad, I ain't giving it to you. I know their shit goes straight to the people. I don't have a problem giving that money to my rabbi. I don't have a problem with giving that money to Kol Chabad, because I know that they use it for the people. But I do have a problem with giving my money to nonprofit organizations that pop the fuck up when bad things happen. I have a problem. I want to know where to show me the damn money. And then when you find out where the money went, oh wow, that person who was asking for the donation, legitimate NPO, they have a $200,000 yearly they have an annual pay of $200,000. How much did they donate to the emergency? $20,000. Okay. All right. $50,000, $60,000, $80,000. Oh, that's a lot compared to $200,000. They pay themselves more than they give. They pay themselves more than they give. And you're talking to somebody who has a nonprofit organization, okay? And I was fucking working for love. I don't understand why all of a sudden all these people want donations. Where is the money going? Where? Show us the money. They don't need it a week or two from now. They need it right now. And there's only 3 organizations out of the many NPOs on this freaking island that are actually giving them the services right now. Red Cross, Salvation Army, and the Hawaii Food Bank. They're giving it to them. Everyone else is asking for funds. There's an emergency fund, federal and state. Federal poured into the state because all of a sudden they got a natural disaster. You have the HTA down in Waikiki, but yet they can't. They can save whatever funding they have for their bonuses at the ending of the year, but they won't pour out money into Waikiki to house these families that need it now. And not only is it going to help the families, but it's going to help the Waikiki economy, which is struggling right now. Struggling for good cause. Hey, you know what? You keep slapping more freaking fees on people, ain't nobody gonna want to come. And then not only that, prior to they slapping fees onto the onto vacationing here, if you stay in Waikiki or if you come to Hawaii, then not only will you get a fee, but they also at the same time had a government shutdown. A lot of that money came from military families that went there. So you know how they, at that point, they were not just struggling, they were struggling. Waikiki was struggling. Okay, because they hardly had anybody going there. Right now, if you pour that funding into Waikiki by sheltering these families and these people who have been affected by this emergency, this flooding, then you are also helping the economy. You're helping the Waikiki economy while helping these people. I wish, you know, people would use a brain, or maybe a heart. Okay, because this whole bullshit, why can you but not me? You need to kick fucking rocks with that stupid mentality. Honestly, there was many times I had I never had that why can you but not me. It was more like, I'm glad that you got blessed. Good, that's good. And you know, sometimes I feel like sometimes like maybe a year or now until present, I feel like that's been my fucking life, where the opportunity misses me and it seems like it's intentional. And I look at it and I'm like, I don't understand it. It looks fucking weird. I think it's a bit unfair, but you know what? If God let it happen, then I trust God with all my heart. I'm not gonna get hurt, but I do feel it's kind of weird. Kind of seems conspiratory, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I trust God with all my heart. And you know, they don't need donations. That's never going to reach them. They need donations that'll pour into them. They need help now. If the funding is there, whether of course definitely going to be from the federal, but if it's released to the state already, then come on, you guys, get your shit together. Funnel that fucking money into Waikiki and get them all housed, get them situated. Give them that little breath of relief before they got to go back and look at their house all in shambles and figure out what the fuck to do. That's a hard freaking fucking pill to swallow. Give them just that little relief. That little relief of maybe 1 week or 2 weeks for free in the hotel. Just until all of that shit recedes, and then let them go back to their home and then deal with the rest of the stress. If you can alleviate some stress from some people's lives, then why not do it? Why not? Because you're not getting it? Your time can come later on when you do good for people. But I don't understand this whole stupid ass dynamic. These people they got hit really hard. They got hit freaking hard. I've never seen it in my entire life here in Oahu. I've never seen that area of the island flooded that bad. Maybe it happened when way back in the days when I wasn't born. But as far as I remember, I've never seen that ever happen. That type of flooding never happened. I've never seen it so bad. That whole area was just flooded. Cars under the water. Freaking river coming down the road. River coming down the road, okay? And I'm not talking about, think about the freaking Colorado Rapids. What the fuck? That's what I seen on the news, okay? Like I said, I'm not in that area. God was so good. My area was not flooded, none of that. I mean, we just seen the ocean turn from beautiful blue to red, dirty red. That's pretty much it. But we've never had any, we didn't have any flooding here. We were fine. But there, you know, God is so good. And, you know, I thank God for hearing our prayers. But there, that's bad. They're on their kayaks and they're kayaking on their one-man canoes to get from point A to point B. you know, and some of them are just trying to walk through the water, and it's like, man, it's gonna be hard if you chest deep and you get kids. You know, that I would never ever recommend you ever walk around with your kids in knee deep water, because you never know if you're carrying and you have a baby in your hand and you walk in knee deep water. Who's to say something like a branch or something might not just float right past you and it hits your leg, and then you go in the water, you fall, and the kid fall in the water too, and then, you know, you never know. So I wouldn't recommend any of them walking in that water, especially if it looks red, like dirt brown red. But yeah, it just makes no damn sense. It makes no damn sense. A lot of these things are just not clicking. But, you know, huge mahalo to the food bank, Red Cross, and Salvation Army for being about that, being about service when you were needed. You know, they were there. They're there right now. I mean, they're there right now doing their thing, and that's a great thing. You know, but shit, help these people. Don't just offer. You know, I know about that whole I offer you stuff, and oh, if you can't take it, you can't take it, but I offered. That's one half-hearted gift. That's a half-fucking-hearted gift. And if you're a Christian, you know you're not supposed to give a half-hearted gift. It's unacceptable. If you're gonna give with your whole heart. Give with meaning. Makes no damn sense. And then on top of that, last week I recall, you know, mentioning to stay out of the water, right? Did I not say that? Did I not say to stay out of the water? Well, there was a couple of clowns that decided to jump in the water, and guess what happened? They almost drowned. So the lifeguards had to go save them. And there was one solid rod out there on a boogie board that went out to save them too. And these 5, 6, I don't know how much, I think they were around 5 or 5, 6 or 7 guys. I think they were like, oh no, 5 teens and 2 adults. They jumped in the water, and the thing about the beach that they went to is it's right down from where my parents' house is. It's down the road from my parents' house and my ex-husband's house. My ex-husband's parents' house. So I know the area. I used to go diving there. And so when you go diving at that beach on a calm day, in certain areas by the reef area, the outskirts of the reef, there's a heavy rip. There's a current that pulls you out. And these guys decided that after a rain and a storm, they had the bright idea of jumping in that water. They got swept out. Yeah. So aside from not being able to see underneath you, because that's where the first time I swam at that beach. Well, actually, I didn't swim. I dived. We went freestyle diving. So the first time I dove at that beach, I saw a shark. That fucker was coming straight for me. And I was so happy I had my spear. Because I was actually just going to go jump in the water, and then we were going to go around the reef. But my husband at the time was like, nah, let's bring our spears. So I was so glad that I had my spear. So, you know, at least I had some form of protection when the shark came straight to me. But yeah, that beach has sharks on a calm day. So just imagine how much more sharks might have on, and straight out from that beach, like a mile and a half out, there's big sharks out there all the time. Huge tiger sharks that just kind of roam out in that area. They rarely come in unless, you know, there's a lot of fish. And when the stream breaks and the nutrients go into that water, it attracts a lot of small fish in. So, you know, big fish can come in because they're going to want to munch on the smaller fish. So these guys are caught in the freaking current. in dirty water. You cannot look. If you look down in that water, you can't see the bottom. On a clear day, on a good day, yes, you can. But the day that they chose to go out, no. So the lifeguard had to save them, and then the other two floated in a different direction, and someone else had to, a really nice person who was catching waves, you know, he picked up the other two guys. So stay out of the water after a storm. Stay the fuck out of the water when the water is still kind of turbulent from the storm, and then, you know, the water has to calm down. And then two, like, it attracts sharks. It attracts the fish. You know, the reef fish start coming in because there's nutrients, there's food. They're looking through the water finding food, and they'll find it. But, you know, there's also going to be sharks. And there was a shark sighting yesterday in Waikiki. In Waikiki. Waikiki had a shark sighting. And it was a tiger shark. So Hawaii is known for tiger sharks. For those of you who don't know, tiger sharks are pretty aggressive. They're pretty aggressive sharks. You know, you see an adolescent tiger shark, they're going to be very aggressive. The bigger ones, not so much aggressive, but, you know, if they do become aggressive, then they can inflict a lot of damage to your leg, or, you know, just take it off, you know, or maybe your hand, you know. Yeah, so you just kind of don't, you know, don't test nature. Leave nature alone. So we got all these crazy things going on in Oahu. Blessed be God, because my area is very calm. You know, it was very, I think we're probably going to get some more rain because I'm feeling all hot and it's getting kind of humid right now. So I'm assuming, you know, there's going to be more rain, and I'm looking forward to that because I love rainy days. They are my most favorite days, rainy days, because I get to sip on my tea. I get to chill out. There's one thing though that was going on, and this happened in the continental states. I understand that everybody is, you know, kind of getting all nuts because the Iran war and whatnot, and there's people who are they're just misinformed, right? But those are the most dangerous to me. The ones that are misinformed are the most dangerous because they do the dumbest things and they fight against the cause. So recently there was a 4-year-old Jewish boy in New Jersey who was pushed the fuck down like a man by a grown-ass man. The grown-ass man was a mailman, so he worked for USP. Now I recall when I was like little, when I was a little girl, like we would say hi to the mailman, and the mailman was a safe person. Like, the mailman was always one of the safe people. They were always the safe guys. They were always one of the safe people. They were safe to talk to. They would always, you know, give you your mail, smile and wave, and, oh, how's your motto? You know what I'm saying? How's your father? How's the family? You know what I'm saying? Because they see them all the time, right? But wow, it blew my freaking mind that this fucking grown-ass adult man would shove a 4-year-old baby on the ground like that baby wasn't a baby. I don't give a fuck about your religion and your beliefs about other people and your discrimination, but I do give a fuck about the kids in our communities being bullied by adults that should know better. If you have a grudge against someone, you keep that shit in your age group. You don't go fucking around with any of the little kids. If that had happened here and you were surrounded in a local Hawaiian community, they would kick your fucking ass. Honestly. And in all honesty, I want to kick your fucking ass. Your man card should be taken away, because ain't no freaking man would ever push a 4-year-old baby like that. You know, there should be something in your heart that says, that's not right. That's just a kid. The kids are innocent. But then, given the fact that you must probably be a radical Muslim, you know, radical Islam or some shit like that. This is why you guys all should pay attention. You see what he did? He pushed a 4-year-old baby. I don't give a fuck if he wore a fucking kippah, if he's Jewish and that other guy is fucking Muslim. I don't give a shit. We have laws here. We have morals here. That's an inhumane act. That motherfucker should be deported or get the fuck off of our fucking country. If he feels the need to hurt like little kids and innocent people because of their religion, I didn't see the little kid bird hurt bothering him. I didn't see, and even if it were the case that maybe the little kid said something that he didn't like hearing, he's a fucking adult. He's still an adult. Couldn't he have reacted in an adult manner instead of shoving the little baby like he wasn't one little baby? He's a 4-year-old child. 4-year-old. Okay, he only has 3 years of fucking walking. Not even 3 years, 2 years of walking. 2-3 years of walking. You know, how is it that this stupid freaking big ass butt face can push like little kids around like that and nobody, like, I hope he got arrested and I hope his parents press charges. This is the danger of that religion, that radicalist religion, is that they don't give a fuck whether you're an adult, whether you're a teen, or whether you're a baby. They will fuck you up. That kind of mentality does not belong on our soil. It does not. So they can come here and disrespect our laws, and we have to show mercy to them. You know, for those of you who can see that and say, oh, it's justified because that's his religion, the boy was Jewish. But what about our laws? What about our laws as an American citizen? What, our laws not apply to that fucking guy because he's a Muslim? Because he's a radical Muslim? Because that little boy is Jewish? That's not how laws work. Laws are black and white. Laws are black and white. And him, by doing that, thinking that he could get away, that's a disrespect to our freaking country. Our country. The United States. Our country. America. Our country. Because you know what? In the back of his mind, if he had respect for our country and our laws, then he would have been like, ooh, I don't know if I should do that because I know that's against the law. You know, that's against the law, I'll get in trouble. Someone who has respect for you would think about that. They'll think about their actions. They'll think about the laws. They'll think about the consequences prior to doing it, and that will keep them from doing it. But apparently this guy, he don't give a shit. His actions spoke louder than any words can, because by him reacting in that manner, by him pushing that kid down like that kid was a man, I mean, yeah, he pushed him into the grass. Just imagine if he pushed him with that force into the concrete. By him doing that act, he disrespects our country, because he looks at it and say, I don't give a fuck, I'm a fucking do this because my religion. Oh well, fuck your religion. Fuck your fucking religion. You have no respect for our country or our laws, and fuck you and fuck your religion. That's how I look at it. I look at it as, if you can't assimilate, then get your ass out of my get out of our country. If you can't assimilate, if you can't respect our country's laws, get the fuck out of our country. And anybody anyone who would look at that and say, oh, it's justified, the boy's a Jewish boy. Well, fuck you too. Screw you too. Screw you too. Think about the person that do not like you. And if they did that to you, then is it justified that they can do that to you just because they don't like you? I think a lot of people, they're forgetting to put themselves into that person's shoe, the victim's shoe. Instead of blaming the victims, put yourself in that person's shoe and say, if that was me, how would I feel? If in your heart you know that, oh, if that big guy, if I was 4 years old and that big guy pushed me and I hit my head on the ground and I was only 4, and that guy's like what, 45 or freaking 35 or somewhere around that line, would you be okay with it? Then okay. All right. But I can almost guarantee you, a lot of you will be like, nope, I won't be okay with that shit. I know if that was my dad and somebody did that to me when I was 4 years old, that motherfucker wouldn't even be living right now. Okay? All right? He gonna have to go to jail for be safe. He's gonna have to go to jail to be safe. Okay? Like, honestly, I don't know how people can justify that type of behavior on our country's soil. And that's how you, I think that's how you can decide or see who's really who in this country. Like, everybody's worried about sleeper cells, right? And like I said, per the watch lawyer, they said that the sleeper cells aren't just militants hidden amongst us. It's also people to justify, people who look like us that'll justify their actions so that you be blinded and support them. Now, with these type of situations, anybody who goes against what is sane, anyone who goes against what is common sense, like, there's laws. Why is he doing that? We have laws that protect kids, and he has the audacity to even think that he can do that and get away with it. Anybody who says, oh, that's fine, they're okay, he's okay, it's because you know, his family got blown up and, you know, he has, or this is him retaliating. I think your ass is a sleeper cell, and I really want to smack you with some tea. But honestly, I mean, you can see the good and the evil. All the people who are reacting in a sane manner, like, okay, it makes perfectly sense. He did that. That's wrong. You all agree with me, right? Okay, all you guys sing. And then you get one person come out of left field to justify their actions. I would say, I put 80% to 90% your ass as a sleeper cell. Either that or you're really dumb. You know, you're really dumb. And I shouldn't hang around with you or listen to you. Or you are meant to influence the masses so that they are lenient to the bad behavior. I know that one thing. What was that? Oh, that's right. So the synagogue shooting. The synagogue shooting. So this guy, he shoots up the synagogue, and after all is said and done, you know, of course the Jewish community is like stunned, but it's the reaction of other people that stunned me, you know, because I was like, why don't you guys see something wrong with this? Like, okay, so this man, his brothers, they said his family got killed in Lebanon by the IDF, and that's why he shot up the synagogue. Now, the first thing that came to mind was, what? So how does the people that attend the synagogue, but what do they personally have to do with that? The fact that they are Jewish, okay, but did they do it to his family? You know, did he find the people who actually shot his family in there? Like, did he find them in there? Did he? He's not gonna find them there. And even if they were there, when you dig down deep into the tea, then you find out that his brothers were killed by the IDF because the brothers were part of Hezbollah. So when you look at it that way, it's justified. Their deaths were justified because they decided to join a terrorist group. So if you join a terrorist group, like for me, I'm in the fucking military. Like if they were to deploy me out into combat and shit like that, then, you know, if I die in a combat zone, then that's justified because it was my choice to join the military and my choice and get deployed, knowing that all of those things are gonna happen. All that shit. When I first got deployed, I mean, my dad, they already understood, because my dad's been deployed, so they already knew. Okay, this hug might be my last hug, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I chose to join, so they're not gonna go and start shooting up, or my dad's not gonna go and start doing anything crazy to innocent people, even if they are part of that religion. Why? Because that was my choice. I signed the dotted line. I said, okay, this is all right. They're probably not gonna like that religion, but they're not gonna go out of their way to inflict pain on innocent people who are of that religion, because that guy's brothers decided to be terrorists. And even if they didn't decide to be terrorists, any of these terrorists ever not decide to be terrorists? Has any of these terrorists not decided to be terrorists? If you're a terrorist and you don't decide to be a terrorist, then I'm pretty sure there's a way of getting around that shit. Like, missing every time you hit. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that man's brothers, the way these people, the way some of these influencers, and the way some of these people who are reporting it, and even the media themselves, the way they're reporting it is like they're justifying his actions to kill innocent Jewish people because his family got murdered, got killed by the IDF. And it's like, look, that's a fucking war. That's not the IDF's fault. These guys are Hezbollah militants. So if his brothers were Hezbollah militants, do you not think that their brother might be one too? But maybe that guy that shot up the synagogue has a higher, maybe he has a higher status than his brothers, because he's obviously here on our island. Not on our island, but on our land. He's obviously here on our land. This fucking guy went to shoot up a synagogue. Do you not think that they're probably all in on it? Thank you, media, for unveiling that part, that he came from. His brothers were part of Hezbollah. So this guy that you guys are all trying to justify his actions, he's probably a sleeper cell. He was probably part of Hezbollah. I look at that. That's the fucking first thing that came to my mind is, But so the brothers were Hezbollah. So he shot up a synagogue. Then this motherfucker might be on higher rank than his brothers, because he's here. That fucking guy might be on higher rank than his brothers, because his fucking ass is here. How the freaking hell he got his freaking weapon? Well, how did he know all of this shit? If this guy had no connection to Hezbollah, then how would he have known that his brothers got shot? Because that fucking guy is probably one higher ranking officer in Hezbollah that was probably sent to the United States to freaking be part of their freaking bullshit takeover. And all you dummies justifying him. Oh, you know what? Oh, his family, that's why. He's not like you. They're not like you. You're stupid. That's why they call you useful idiot. These guys they're smart. You got to think about it. This is when ancient people they're an ancient people. So, the intellect, well, I don't think they have as much intelligence as Jewish, but I don't think they have as much intelligence as the Jewish, because, I'm watching how they're freaking, I am watching what they're doing, and they're just freaking crazy. Fucking, it's so humid. It's gonna rain again. Like, can you guys not put this shit together? How does he know that his brothers got killed in freaking Hezbollah? If he knew that his brothers got killed in Hezbollah, that automatically tells you that he's still connected to Hezbollah. I mean, he's here in the United States. My guess is that fucking guy is a part of one. He's a higher rank than his brothers, and he was placed here because maybe his loyalty to that regime or whatever. Like, I wouldn't shoot him. I would keep him. I would lock his ass up. Fucking interrogate that motherfucker. Or fucking follow that motherfucker to see what he does. I don't know. Somebody investigate him. But, you know, we got dummies that want to justify his action. Oh, poor Hezbollah guy. His poor guy. His brothers who were Hezbollah. They died. Okay. So doesn't that mean that he's still connected to Hezbollah? Because he knows that they died. You know? If he knows that his brothers died, that means he's linked to Hezbollah. Because if he wasn't linked to Hezbollah, they wouldn't call him. They wouldn't let him know. Like, if they died, somebody else gotta let him know, right? Right? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't call him when they died. I'm 100% sure Hezbollah friends of his caught him. So my guess is he's part of Hezbollah too. And then we have useful idiots that justify his action because maybe you're the sleeper cell. Shit's not too hard to kind of connect the dots. You know? Their family orientation isn't like how we are, where we're close to our family and then, you know, they don't honor family. Because if they had honored family, then they wouldn't be selling the bodies back to their citizens that they killed. You know, they're selling the bodies back to their citizens, their families, the families of the ones that they killed, their own people. So that automatically tells you that they don't care about family. Okay, they don't care about family ties. Like these IRGC guys, they killed their own citizens and then they sold their bodies back to the family. And if the family couldn't afford it, then the family wouldn't receive their family member's body. That tells you a lot. It tells you that they don't value family. So why would people from Hezbollah contact a brother if he wasn't part of Hezbollah to let him know that his brothers died? It's probably because he's Hezbollah too. It's probably because he's a militant in Hezbollah that's on our soil. And that was his assignment, to go shoot up a synagogue and to cause chaos. I mean, like, look at it. Freaking IRGC is, our president tells Iran, if you don't open the Strait of Hormuz, we will fucking blast your power plants. Now, let me tell you something. They tried to do the same thing to us. Did you know that? They had one of their fucking stupid little gajos. One of their I don't think that this kid was from Iran. I think he was from here, the United States, but I think he was just recruited into their radicalist Islam belief. This kid tried to shoot his he tried to run through the power plant in Nevada. He was going to try and shut down all of the electricity in California and Las Vegas. And that whole section right there. He was trying to shut our electricity down. He was trying to attack our electric plant. That's basically what this guy was doing. So it's not like we're going to attack electric plants for no reason. This motherfuckers was trying to do it to us. But what Iran, I think they did was they threatened to destroy Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and Kuwait. Iran is threatening to take out their power plants if we shoot our missile and destroy their power plant. The thing is, the thing about that is this. At first I thought, how are they going to take out the power plants if we take out their power plant? But they're very confident that they'll take out their neighbors' power plants with their missiles, right? So the second thing that came to mind was, oh, motherfuckers, you guys got generators. You got generators underneath that freaking tunnels. Where's your generators? Where's your backup generators? These motherfuckers got backup generators. So personally, I would freaking, what I would do is I would do an electromagnetic pulse that would fuck up their whole system. That's what I would do. So your fucking generators ain't gonna make it. The generators can only run so long before it goes out anyway. And the one thing that it does need gonna be fuel and oil. But an electrical magnetic pulse would definitely shut that shit down in a heartbeat. Yeah. Because they're so confident that they're going to be able to launch those missiles even after we were to destroy, you know, their power plant. I honestly think they got backup generators somewhere. Probably down below in their shit there. But man, that's going to be interesting to see how they would do that setup. The electrical generators down underneath the ground, with the amount of fumes that come out of that, they need some type of ventilation, some major ventilation, or they all die out of from carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah, I think an electromagnetic shock would fucking shut that whole shit down. I don't know. Yep. A lot of things to see, a lot of things to think about, right, for our warriors that are leading us. Iran is a big ass problem. IRGC is a big ass problem. But I'll tell you what, I 100% support our president. I 100% support our president with taking over Kurg Island. 100%. You know why? Because although a lot of you guys might be crying about, oh, gas prices are going up, the benefit to winning this war going to outweigh the amount of money that's invested into the war by generations, in all honesty. So more than likely people should support him. Like, they should support him in this war. This is another good call. The tariffs was a good call. It's unfortunate that they didn't follow through with the tariffs, but I tell you what, you know, the tariffs, if the tariffs were to be implemented and they didn't cut it short, then it would benefit the citizens and it would benefit the government too. We could get ourselves out of that deficit. Plus there would be, you know, we would be able to, he was actually going to start paying out citizens, or not paying out citizens, but I think it was eliminating the taxes. So you know how everybody is mad at taxes, right? Taxes keep increasing, and all of a sudden, fucking NYC and Madani and NYC wants to go back on his word on everything that he said. He's also tapping into your guys' reserves. Just saying, he's tapping into your guys' reserves. So, which can put you in a deficit. And if the 1% of multi-millionaires and billionaires and maybe some trillionaires decide to leave New York City, then all you middle-class people who wanted socialism, you guys going to see socialism firsthand, because you're going to be paying out of your ass. However, with that tariffs, I believe POTUS was going to eliminate, some of the taxes, which would have benefit every citizen. But it was blocked. Yeah. So, that's not a win for anybody, actually. That's just a loss for us, because now we got to pay taxes. Hopefully, though, with this Keurig Island thing, that would be definitely beneficial, because we're going to make back our billion. The $1 billion that we invest into the war, if we take that, we'll be making it back. And in no time, we'll generate that $1 billion back, plus a surplus. And, that's definitely going to benefit the whole country. For sure, for real. And as far as Iran goes, they'll be in good standing. They'll be in good hands. They'll have their new monarch. They won't be under the oppression of the Islamic radical Muslims. The Gulf countries will be safe. They don't have to worry about that. They can focus on building the great cities that they're building right now, and doing all the great things that they're doing, because all those Gulf cities that are being attacked, they are trying to create their own cities and country and make it the best of the best. But this war is kind of setting things back for them, because now they're accumulating more expenses, if anything. So I think it's beneficial for everyone. One, it's been a while since we've had a war this great. It gives everyone time to exercise some of their war tactics, and it is a benefit. However, if it keeps dragging out, then that's when it could take a turn and go for the worse, right? Because you don't want war to drag out. It's costly. Beneficial for some people, but not for the majority. Man, the things we talk about in tea time. So, before I leave you guys, I really pray for all those who've been affected by the flood. And I really hope that the state will consider pouring the funds into housing these families in Waikiki, just for these, several days, or a week, Just give them that breath of fresh air, so that they can relax just a little bit before they actually get back to their homes and have to rebuild everything. I feel for them. Now, this was so cute. It wasn't cute. My neighbor came up to me, one of the aunties, and she sees a star. Now, one star is the Star of David. The other star is a satanic star. This one is a star of David. Okay, this is the Star of David. So how do you know the difference between the two stars? Okay, so this star, it looks like two triangles. One triangle pointing up, and one triangle pointing down, and it makes a 6-pointed star. That is the Star of David. If it is a 5-pointed star, that is the star of the Luciferians, devil worshippers. So, yeah, please don't get them mixed up. I only serve one God, Hashem, the God Almighty, the God who created this world, the God of Isaac, of Abraham, Moses, and Isaac. It's the only God I serve. It's the only God I know. That's the only God in my eyes, and it's the only God that exists. Now, everyone else who has that other star, I don't know anything about that, but I think even they too don't know their own star. I don't know if this girl was cursing me, but she was making little hand signs, and I was like, hey, isn't that like cursing? Isn't that like a satanic thing? No. This is a different star. I don't believe in what you believe in. No. We're two different people. No. Don't bring that here. I don't believe in that. But yeah, so before I leave you guys, just remember, this star is the star of David. King David, King Solomon's father. David of the Bible. David, the Lion of Judah. That's the star, David. Okay, the Star of David, Jewish. The other one, I don't know anything about it. Okay, so I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. Okay. Please remember that. So my neighbor, she came up to me and she was like talking to me about God, and she was like, oh, she looks down at my star and she's like, do you believe? If you believe in God? I said, yeah, of course. It's the Star of David. It's the Star of David, yes. I mean, I'm not Christian, but I'm Jewish. Christianity came from Judaism. I'm not a devil worshiper. I believe in the truth. God, Hashem, the only God. He's the only God. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you see me walking around my star, sometimes it goes inside my shirt, and then, I realize it's not there over my heart in front of me. So I take it out and then I put it over my heart in front of me. So, I'm not going to be ashamed of my religion. I'm not going to be ashamed of my heritage. But yeah, that's the Star of David. Just saying. All right. I don't believe in anything else but one God, Hashem, the God, the only God, the one true God, the creator of all, the God of Abraham, Moses, and Isaac. So, tea time. Looks like it's going to be sunny for the rest of the day. I guess my rain radar was off. Anyways, that's tea time with Pink Crochet 808. May your cup always be full.